You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based to debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks. Going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town! What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim, the Cheat Sheet Hicks. Got his outfit on tonight. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's day. But we're coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But we're broadcasting all over the all over the world. And Jimmy, let me tell you something. Great night in sports. I see Lori talking about the Knicks. Lori, you don't want us to talk about the Knicks right now, I'm sure, but it's Super Tuesday. Let's get this serious stuff out the way. It's Super Tuesday. We apologize for yesterday of some stuff that was glitches in the software, but it's Super Tuesday today. Make sure you go out and vote. I met Businessman last night at the game, but it's a lot of stuff, Jimmy. We got to talk about Spike Lee. We got to talk about the Houston Rockets. And I'm not too mad. You know, me personally, Jimmy Hicks, I'd like to congratulate the Houston Rockets. You know what? If we now, to a point where a random Monday night loss to the terrible New York Knicks is worth leading national TV shows, that means they done start treating this team like they actually one of the best teams in basketball. So guess what? I'm okay with that loss last night. And then, Jimmy, I heard a lot of things. Jimmy, GQ had a party on Sunday night. You know the same GQ who James and your homeboy was on the cover. You know my folks gonna tell me what's up. My son lives up there. They had a nice little old thing. Jimmy, and let me tell you something. There's a lot of stuff probably happened, you know. But guess what? The Rockets started slow, but I'm going to let you go there because I know you got all the stats and all the whatever, and you're going to tell us what the bench did and all of that kind of stuff. But let me tell you something. How about them Yates Lions? yeah, you know, Jimmy, hold up. Are we going to start off the show with the NBA or high school basketball? Because I got something I want to show everybody. You know, you just tell me which, you know what? Like I did yesterday. I am going to let you work it out so I can see what's going on all of these Facebook feeds. I see YouTube is lit up. I see Facebook is lit up. Man, how about them Yates Lions, man? Jimmy, the line was down. Jimmy, hold up. I was worried about whether Jimmy was going to get in there. Jimmy, hold up, Jimmy. Did you hear me? I was on the phone with Jimmy, right, when I got there. I had a wee bit of little resistance, and somehow somebody said, oh, that's Mr. Hatter. Let him through. Jimmy, you notice when I click you off the phone, I was all gravy. I was trying to see where you were trying. Where were you at then? But it was a great night. Jimmy, tell me where you want to start. Do your thing.
Access to a high school facility is the last thing that I have to worry about. It's just
I'm talking about the fire marshal. The fire marshal.
To arrive, it was at the time when there were fans, at least a couple of hundred fans were outside the entrance of the Alvin High School gymnasium. And there's glass doors. And somebody made the mistake of allowing some of the people from the Lamarck fans had two separate entrances. Somebody made the mistake of letting some of those come in and just stand there, and they were waiting in limbo as nobody would let the police, a couple of officers, but nobody would let them past. So eventually, of course, I went in through the Yates entrance because I figured that if they had the list, it would have came from the HISD, being that Yates was the home team. They won the coin flip for home team. And as I'm going through and I'm talking to the officer because there was no list there, and the poor lady at the door, she didn't know what to do. She was overwhelmed. She was clutching her pearls. I'm talking about all those black folk behind itching to get in. And so the officer just told me, hold on 1 second, let him get some order. And right as he's saying that, because he's calling the AD on the phone to just verify, which he's doing his job. And I'm sitting there, and right behind me, those Lamarck fans had pushed their way through the entrance and had flooded the entire corridor. And all, it was pandemonium in a good way. Nobody wasn't squabbled. Nobody that I know fell down. They didn't just run in. They just walked quickly in, but they had another layer of doors. Then the officers quickly secured those doors to not let anyone in the door. So now you had a corridor filled with people. And eventually, so that was the part that I explained to you. I said, these officers mad as hell because only one or two officers.
You got that too late, Jimmy. You got that. Because the officers were very gracious with me.
No. But didn't nobody push through the doors? It wasn't a flood of black folks.
Oh, it wasn't. It was a line, but they didn't let everybody in the lobby. When they started letting people, by that time.
They didn't let them in. People had flooded. On that other side, they had pushed their way in. And it was a point, so even in these, I looked on the patches, this wasn't Alvin ISD. This was the Alvin Police Department, these guys. I said, oh, man. And I guess they probably realized it would have taken, because Lamarck fans were predominantly African-American. The Yates fans, predominantly African-American. The police force from Alvin, predominantly white. And I was surprised because normally, but at the same time, I thought about it, they were way overnumbered. And had they been in another place, they probably would have acted differently. Who knows? It might have been something crazy that would have happened. But let's get to the game. Out of this game last night, I thought that it would be much closer because coming into the game, I mentioned to you guys that Lamarck hadn't yielded 70 points but 4 times all season. Lamarck had played Hightower. They only lost by single digits. They had played Port Arthur Memorial, only lost by single digits. They had played, I think, Summer Creek, only lost to them by single digits. So I'm using as measuring stones of 3 teams, 2 of which are still in the playoffs and can easily advance to state out of their respective regions. So I'm saying, well, if Lamarck played those guys, that's 3. I can see 1 lucky game. That's 3 common denominators of 3 teams that were ranked in the top 10 in the state in higher classifications.
But different playing styles. Different playing styles, but keep going.
Always, no, definitely different playing style. But I'm saying, but so I'm thinking, well, if they held those guys 3 separate dates to single digits, then they. I'm not saying they could beat Yates. That was never the issue. I was thinking about the record, the 100-point streak being in jeopardy.
Why would you think that so you thought the guy would have stalled the ball?
No, but the way that they play. No, I'm
how could Yates? How could Yates? I just didn't understand how you think the 100.
Here's how you can think that.
Yeah.
How you can think that, but not think it all the way through. Is you think that the style I've saw Lamar play, and so normally if an offense is gonna run through a couple of sets and they get the ball to their guy eventually, wear you out, try to get the matchup they want on the switch or whatever, and they're working on it. And that's 35 seconds off the clock before you getting the shot up, unless you get a steal and you're in transition. But the thing is with Yates, there's no offense for you to run. Either you're going to get a layup / dunk, or you're going to turn it over. There's not going to be hardly any room for I'm talking about for the common process of the game. You're not likely to get what you're looking for in the confines of your half-court offense. That's the part I didn't think all the way through. Because at this point of the year, you name it, man, we saw it happening when Yates was in district play, and that was a high school that deliberately passed up layups, that was accused of passing up layups.
And Jimmy, I thought some people that was there saying the people Yates went, because I think people had the misnomer that Yates was giving up layups. And Yates said they ain't gave up no layups.
No, they didn't give up layups. What they do is their press is such a gamble that they're often putting 4 players in the front court. So now if you beat those front 4 against Yates, it's going to be you versus whoever's in the back. And a lot of times it can be one of the big guys, or a lot of times they'll put the big guy on the ball and have Reuben Jones on the back of the press, which Reuben Jones is one of their better athletes. And as he showed last night, he got a couple of blocks. I'm talking about, a couple of stamps.
Wait a minute. Is this what you talking about? Is that the Reuben Jones? Hold on. Where did he come from, Jim? I couldn't believe it.
One of the guys from Extra Eyes Media said that he came out the sky. They called him Spider-Man.
Yeah, they dropped him out. Jimmy, I mean, I said unbelievable. So the people who wasn't there and couldn't get in, yes, it was unbelievable. Jimmy, them Yates fans, I know you're talking about the game, but them Yates fans, man, that's how they were so excited, man. And these people didn't go to school. These were some old people. Jimmy, this game was so big that Kirby John Caldwell came to the game, Jimmy. He was
came out of retirement. Kincaid ain't playing. He showed up at the ball game.
That man said he had to come third ward because he remembered the last time Yates won, all of them came to church. They came to the church on Sunday. He mentioned that to me. But it was unbelievable. The fans, because I was videoing and just taking pictures of them. It was crazy. I love that kind of thing. And Jimmy, Polar Lamarck's side, they was quiet over there. And, hold on. Jimmy, I ain't never seen this before. Hold up, because I forget. You know, when you get Jimmy. They moved the referees, moved the cheerleaders right over there in front of me. I want to tell that ref, but I remember these refs from out of town. I don't know what them cheerleaders were doing back there to that ref.
That was the baseline that I was positioned near. And what happened is one of the cheerleaders from Lamarck, put it like this, he was born a boy. I don't know what they call himself now, Dwayne Wade and all that. He was born a boy on the birth certificate, but was in the process of doing one of his moves and kicked it appeared he kicked the ref. It appeared that he kicked the ref. Either he touched the ref or his movement. You can feel the wind of the leg coming near him. And that's why that ref, I would have did the same thing. A lot of people didn't realize what had happened, but that little boy knows what he had did. He put his hand over his mouth and and clutched his pearls or her pearl or whatever. But anyway,
I didn't see all that, Jimmy. I didn't see all that.
That's what happened. So he did the right thing.
No, but Jimmy, I was mad about that. You know why? Because they moved them little cheerleaders right over there in front of Jimmy. Bless their little heart. I know they got dressed up that night, but they hadn't had nothing to cheer for. Bless their little heart.
Yeah,
Jimmy, they was getting beat by 1,000 by that time that happened.
Yeah, but understand, I'm talking about at the beginning of the game, they it was,
No, I'm talking about when they moved them in my way.
Oh, yeah, by that time, I mean, the game was, understand, this is how this game went. Okay, Lamarck had one player that got his second foul with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Both teams was aggressive, pretty much on both ends to start the game because adrenaline was at an apex, right? However, Antoine Norman for Yates set the tone with his aggressiveness as on offense and defense. Antoine was on a mission last night. Understand, the young man from Lamarck, Jordan Ivy Curry, we've talked about him several times on the Chop Shop.
Like him.
He's one of the leaders in the area in scoring. I think he's averaging about 33 points a game this season. Now, what I've learned is that it's allegedly, I haven't seen the video, but Jordan Ivy Curry, who he's committed to Appalachian State last week. Congratulations to the young man. Great season, went from no offers, picked up the offer, and didn't mess around with it, took it, and he's going to cash that thing in. However, I heard that he sent a video, and the video got in the hands, in the video he's talking to the Yates players about what he was going to do in this game and how many points he was going to score in this game. If that is true, and if any of you guys out there can confirm that, please do. I have not seen the video yet, and I'm dying to do so because I'm out of humor. I mean, I love it, but you gotta back that up, man. You gotta back that up. If you're gonna do that, you gotta come out and back it up.
Well, I'm glad I didn't see it.
You to win the game because remember, in the video, he's saying what he was going to do. What he was going to do. And ain't nobody going to score no 100 on them. Ain't nobody going to shut them down. Ain't nobody going to beat them by no 50.
Hey, Mr. Marvin, where you get this video from, man? Where's that video? Where you get that video from, man?
Oh, we got on the phone room now.
What? Who?
Ashley says she confirms it.
Well,
she said they made a video.
Before we go anywhere, Jimmy.
And sent the video.
Jimmy, before we go anywhere, as promised, this is for Yates High, Rod Wells, Ashley Jones, Reuben Jones, all of them. I had to play that horn for him. Now, where you got to go, Jimmy?
Ashley confirms that a video was made and sent to, who's the Goon Squad?
Who is? I don't know them.
Is that what they call Yates? We're talking about Houston Yates High School, guys. If any of you guys out of town, this is the playoff time in Greater Houston basketball for public schools. And this is a very fun time of the year because you are within one game from advancing to state. And this is, a lot of teams are in the quarterfinals right now. It's the quarterfinal rounds that we're reflecting on. There were only one game last night. And we showed pictures earlier. You just tune in. Clip them a picture real fast so you can see how to get the ambience of this crowd.
Oh, I got it. Hold on.
And when you put the...
Okay, let me show you. This is the Yates crowd right here, y'all.
Now, stop right there. Look at this Yates side and focus on, I'm going to tell you what you don't see. You don't see, this is a high school basketball game. You don't see a student section. Think about this. You don't see a student section. These are all predominantly adults. Understand, most high school teams have that spirit section that they have right there. There's no band. These people have the ability to sing a cappella at various moments of the game I don't even think many of those people may be Yates alumni. They probably don't even know the school song, the school fight song. I bet they know Ooh, I, Third Ward High. I bet they know that song. They don't know the fight song. Hell, half of them don't know Star Spangled Banner. But they might know Ooh, I, Third Ward High. And baritone and what's the different chords they sang it?
Soprano, tenor.
They and all variations of that song, they would perform it during the course of a game. But in all seriousness, this game, by the time they got midway through the first quarter, Reuben Jones hit a three.
Yes, right? Sir.
Made it 21-8.
Yes, sir.
Then it got a steal and came right back with another three.
Yeah.
20, two possessions later, it was 24-10.
Timeout.
And then Antoine, it seemed like for one spurt, I didn't chart the game, but Antoine Norman and Reuben Jones probably combined to score about 20 points in a row at one point in that first quarter. Yates led 37-11.
Yeah.
That number 11 I mentioned from Lamarck, he got his third foul with just over a minute to go in the first quarter. So then, but he's not the star. The star is zero. Jordan Ivy Curry was going to Appalachian State.
Jim, Jordan Ivy Curry made a move. I don't care what else he did that game, but he made a move. I still don't know, and I just seen the video.
He went between the legs, right? And between the legs, and then hit the three-pointer, and then got the foul for the 4-point play. That was right just above 2 minutes to go in the first half. And at that point, you understand?
Oh, Jimmy, on Yates, hold up. On Yates' vaunted press, I haven't seen too many people make that play. I haven't make that move in that play on Yates' press. I just haven't. You done seen more Yates game. It probably has happened. It probably happened in Dallas. I wasn't there. But that was a big time move. If he did nothing else, he showed me that he can do something and it was all instinct because he didn't have time to think about it. It wasn't like he was trying to be cute. That's the only way he could have got away. So shout out to the young man because he was spent. Jimmy, that man was tired. And then Antoine Norman, he tried to block his dunk. Antoine Norman put his knee in his stomach. I wanted to tell Jordan, I said, Jordan, man, let that one go, baby. We need you. That was a foul. Let him go and dunk that thing. Could have put you out of the game. So, I really enjoy. You can go on, Jimmy. Those are the things that I picked up in the game that I just wish the young fella would have let Antoine Norman dunk that ball and wouldn't have got his with that. I don't know what foul it was, but he got kneed in the stomach area, and I know that hurts.
Well, and back to the 4-point play, mind you now, he hit the three, converted the free throw, and that made the score 29-58. So it was 58-25 at that point in the second quarter. Roughly a minute. Now, let me tell you something now. After he made the free throw, Jordan Ivy Curry was walking back, turned around, looked over at the coach as Yates getting ready to inbound the ball. He motions for the coach to call timeout. Right? This is right before as the referee's making an exchange. He's telling his coach, give me a timeout, get me out of here. I'm pooped.
He didn't have nothing, Jim.
The coach looked at him and it appeared, I'm not a great lip reader, but it looked like the coach was like, man, we only got one left. Coach had exhausted all his timeouts in the first half. He had one left. And it looked like he was telling him no. The coach said, waved him out. It's like, no, you got to step it up. It's only at that point, it's only about 2:50 to go in the quarter, which is 3 minutes. So guess what happens? Yates comes down the court. They trade a possession. And Jordan Ivy Curry actually was going up the ball and made contact with one of the Yates players on the opposite baseline, referee gives a no call, which is good. Because sometimes a good ref knows the star player, he's already wobbly.
But these refs were out of town. How did they know?
They know, refs, some refs do, some don't. They know. Trust me. Because somebody's going to tell you, you're going to let somebody know I'm doing this game. While you're in the locker room, I heard they got this one kid. They know. It's not, now back in the days without social media, maybe not.
Okay.
But they know.
Well, that's good.
So what he does is, that was a scare. So that was at that point. The coach could have then either subbed him out or called that timeout because this boy is wobbly right now.
Yeah.
When the Yates take the ball out, guess what happens? Right? They turn it over, they go down, and this boy comes back down the court. Antoine Norman is going for a dunk, and what Haller just referenced to, and at that, guess who fouled Antoine Norman? Jordan Ivy Curry, going for the block. Well, what makes this significant is that it was his fourth foul with 1 minute and 42 seconds to go in the first half. That was his fourth foul. At that point, it was like, ooh. Understand. When Antoine Norman made those free throws, the score at that point was 62-29. I say it again, 62-29 was the score at that point.
Jim.
He gets his fourth foul.
Jim.
So now people start to question, well, what the hell is he doing in the game? Because not everybody could hear. They had a PA announcer that may be very, very hearable in a normal crowd. But this was an overflow crowd. You could barely hear this. It was just, it was hard. It was not good as far as hearing it, unless you're really trying to listen. So a lot of people, they probably didn't know that this young man that was his fourth foul. And people began to question, why was he on the floor? So I'm initially thinking, well, coach either did two things. Either coach had already at that point conceded to the fact that you're down by, once again, 60. Well, it was 58-20 something before then, or 60-20 something before then, that I'm going to leave him in. This is my star player. I owe it to him. Let him go out with a bang. Let him go out fighting, because it don't look like we're going to climb out of this 35-point hole. So that's what I'm thinking, right? But in the second half, of course, Yates led at halftime 65-32. In the second half, Jordan Ivy Curry did not start the second half. He did not come in the game until about the 2-3 minute mark. Well, for your star player to have 4 fouls, and you're down by 40 in the third quarter, that leads me to believe two things. Why are you not putting him in the game? You let him in the game to get the other 4 fouls. And I'm not questioning the coach per se. I'm questioning the logic. You let him get his 4 foul. You might as well. It don't look like that you're trying to prepare by not playing him or starting him in the third quarter. Leads me to believe that the Lamarck had a plan, that they were preserving him from fouling out the game in case they were going to come back. Well, at some point in time, you don't cut that lead. You were down by 33 points at the half. You didn't get any closer than that. At the 5 minute mark, it was like 70-something to 30-something. So, but I'm not. That was one of those games.
The coach. Let me tell y'all something.
Is not at fault.
But to people who don't know about Yates, how people that's out of town, that it kind of explains a little bit why the coach the other day is so frustrated. When you're frustrated, you just say anything sometimes. You know how you're in an argument, you'll say anything. Man, Yates, man, they just come at you, man. They just come at you with droves and droves. Jimmy, I haven't seen Yates play in a long time, right? It's some people I saw in the game, I don't even remember them in the beginning of the year. I'm sitting there, well, I love Greg Wiseman. My little football player, right? He came in there and did something. Boy, he came in there and did something wrong. Man, man, Greg, get him out of there. He just got in the game, man.
Which number?
The little football player, the quarterback.
I don't know who the quarterback is. Yates ain't win a game in football. I don't know who the quarterback
The
is.
little football player, y'all know his name. I don't know them kids' name.
Oh, you talking about the starter? You talking about Darryl Brown?
Yes, he did something. Coach said, get him out of there. I forgot what he did. I knew Coach would go get him. Great. Man, you know what, though? Man, I love Greg, the coaching staff. I saw how intense Greg was before the game. Coach Wise was before the game. I mean, it was, hey, man, them guys stepped off that bus ready to play. I know what you talking about. You didn't know it was going. I saw Lamar play. And I just didn't see what y'all saw in Lamar. You know, you gave me an analogy. Robert, they beat some top teams. You beat some so-and-so. You beat some.
Crosby. They beat Crosby and they beat Shields.
Yeah. And they beat, wait a minute. They beat, ain't nobody scored over 80 points on them. And
4 teams over 70.
Yeah.
You know, Silsby is the only one that scored over 90, and they lost that game. And that was a historic scoring. But
Jimmy, I sit there and watch. I see why that coach up there, wherever, Harden, whatever, Jefferson, whatever. Man, that's got to be scary to play against. Did you see the speed that these guys on defense attacked the guys with the ball on offense? See, that's what I was watching. Jimmy, they were, you know, usually when you had a ball, you attack, right? The guys on defense, Yates, they were attacking the ball handler. And I'm sitting there saying, oh, wait a minute. How do you, if you're not an excellent, elite ball handler and you got 2 more elite ball handlers on your team, man, that's got to be a scary sight. Because guess what? Guess what Lamar was doing, Jimmy? Trying to get the hell out of the way fast as hell. Instead of just slowing down and let the speed just run past them. And I was sitting there saying, but I know it's hard if you're not, if you don't have poise, if your team don't have poise, and you trying to play against that team right there, you're in trouble. I mean, that's all. I want to know the teams. You know, I can't wait to go to state now. Because I want to see the teams that up there, they running their mouth talking about they can beat this team. I just want to see them. Jimmy, I saw a tweet. These guys was tweeting, they keeping score. Houston, Texas. Hold on. They got some guys up on I-45. They keeping score. They put out a tweet. I saw it. I don't want to look at my notes. The Taps won by Dallas. So-and-so else won by Houston. Jimmy, they up there keeping score. This how serious basketball beating Houston is and them people in Dallas. Young men or women and mamas and daddies, if you hear me. Jimmy, I don't know if you saw the tweet. They list all the 4A, 1A, everything basketball that's happening in Texas. And they keeping score of what Dallas has won. Did Dallas win the Taps? Jimmy, did a Dallas team win the Taps?
No, they
one of the Taps.
As far as the top, I know Woodlands Christian from Houston won one that I know of.
Okay, they said one Houston team. Who else from Houston won? In some in high school basketball, statewide.
Well, all you had was the SBC and TAPS so far. So I know the Woodlands Christian is the one that I know that off the top of my head that won their respective classification. I'm not sure any other teams. We probably have one more. I have to think. And
I'm trying to find it, Jimmy. Jimmy, these people keep a score up there, man.
What's wrong with that?
No. Ain't saying nothing wrong with it. I'm saying, hey, y'all, these people are serious about that. I didn't see none of y'all tweet that mess out from Houston. This guy from Dallas tweeted that.
But you only tweet that out if you're from Dallas if the numbers are in favor of you.
Okay.
So why not go from the scratch and tweet that out at scratch and then put a chunk of money on it from when it's 0-0 and then go from and that's how it should be done. and let's get a kitty going on, and everybody put their money in the kitty, starting. I'm just saying, if you want it that way now, you can always wait until the tides sway themselves and say, well, oh, look what we done now. That's a different, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that ain't really forecasting the storm.
I didn't say. I'm saying them people keeping score. I ain't saying what the hell they forecasting. I'm telling you those people up there keeping score. And Lionel Gar, I'm not from this city, so I don't know what the hell Taps is and don't care what Taps is. I'm talking about the score that somebody on Twitter was keeping. Score Houston versus Dallas. And my thing is, Houston, man, y'all need to take that personal
Dallas
also.
Is better. Just face it, but we have more fun
But
down.
Jimmy, all other stuff ain't over with yet. Jimmy, the state championship ain't here yet.
Okay, but on the scope of things, and as Angel just put it, if you add them all up, we have no chance to win a 3A out of Houston. Dallas have their public schools in 3A. Dallas Madison, we have no chance in the world to win a 3A from out of any school in Houston. You know why? The lowest that we get out of this city limits is 4A. That's it. So they can win a 3A. DFW can win a 2A.
Okay.
With some of those teams up in the DFW area on the outskirts. We can't win those. Now we have a Region 3 and a...
Man, you're missing the whole point. What's the next? You're missing the whole damn
point.
You're missing the whole point.
Listen, if there's 5 classifications, 6 classifications, we're not going to even count 1A. Just say 5 classifications.
But they was counting all of them. You ain't see the damn tweet. Them people were counting all of them. They counted all of them.
I'm explaining something to you. There's 2 classifications that they're going to win every year.
But I understand.
So that means if we win 6A, 5A,
Jimmy.
They're going to win 3A.
Hey, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to somebody else. Everybody else out here. They taking that thing serious up there, man. Why don't we need to take it just as serious? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, it ain't that serious. They are better. If they are better, then they are better. That's all. You acknowledge that and you give credit where it's due. They are better in the high school facets of their teams across the board. Yes, they are. Now, meanwhile, guess what? I've said it before and I say it again. We have things that are better that they don't have, that they don't sell it in. They don't have a chop shop. You can try all day. Do they? Since you were speaking about that, let's keep score on that. They don't have a John Lucas. They did not have a Hal Passner during his run. As many may try, they damn sure don't have a Jim Hicks. Keep score. So, yes, they have a lot of good things, a lot of great things on it. But we have a lot of things
I'm talking about basketball, man.
In regards to basketball.
I'm talking about basketball.
And every now and then, once again, they tried to make and point the narrative and make people think, well, man, we got to get some people out there. Why they don't pack the gyms in? And I told you guys, and I said it a month ago, all you got to do is pay attention. There's going to be a game every week that's going to be sold out. And sure enough, each of the past 4 weeks, there's been a game, at least one, that's been sold out, packed to the Raptors in Houston. And in many facilities, and come to find out, one thing about it, think about the region. There's no one team that's clear-cut the favorite to get out of this region in 5A or 6A. Right now, Dallas can't say that for their 5A and 6A. There's one team that's clear-cut better than all of their teams in 5A and 6A, Duncanville and Lancaster. Let's not even fool ourselves. Ain't no team close. Now, if they lose, that's going to be David versus Goliath, easy, in this playoff. They are the heavy favorite, Duncanville, to repeat. And I mentioned before, down in Houston, we have right now, it could be Dickinson. Hell, it could be Atascocita. Beaumont United has to play against Summer Creek tonight. Martin Ranch can get there. They can get there. Don't get it twisted. I just didn't think they have enough in the tank to win 5 straight. But remember, I told you they had a good scene, like in the kickoff, a good scene coming from the quad they're in. And you get it twisted. This in 5A, you got a Shadow Creek or Hightower. There's no greater advantage for either one of those teams if they were to meet. It would be at the Campbell Center, which is a very neutral site. There's no great advantage for Hightower than it is for Shadow Creek. So there's no clear cut. Now in 4A, the way people looking at that at Yates in this region, that's how Duncanville and Lancaster is perceived in their respective regions up there. Sure, there's going to be a team that's expected to test them if they were to play Richardson again, or one of those teams they got to meet up. But for the most part, nah. We know that. Let's go to the boom room. Cecil Dutton said, Haller is right. There's a Dallas-Houston rivalry. It's Dallas time now.
I wasn't trying to be right. I was just reading a tweet.
In my era, we dominated, but lately Dallas is the favorite. That's what I'm saying. They're better right now.
It's all good.
So and that's it's one of those things where people try to go and they make it seem like that's not always like that. No. Come on now. You guys know better than that.
What else we got, man? What else we got? Yates. Are we finished? Did anybody say something so key on the Boom Boom Room? I'm looking on both sites.
Darshell's up in Oklahoma. She says Dallas cheats a little bit better until someone gets greedy and get caught.
Oh, no.
And also, Rod Wells say Yates is waiting on Dallas Carter of Fate family in San Antonio. Well, Yates, don't get it twisted now. You look past, your next opponent will either be a second or a third seed from their district. You look over them guys. You can't look over those guys. There's a reason that upsets are called upsets. There's a reason Allen High School was up in Region 2 got bumped out of the playoffs. They're at home right now. They were the favorite to come out of Region 2, was Allen. And you can't be looking for Silsbee. And Silsbee can't be looking at Yates. They got to worry about Booker T. Washington tonight. Booker T is in the 3rd round of the playoffs, guys.
Shout out to Coach Grayson over there, man.
Absolutely.
I wasn't even hearing about his team during the season, and he's still alive.
And speaking of still alive, I mentioned to you guys on yesterday, you missed it, a young man from Booker T. Washington named Ronald Palmer.
Yeah.
Ronald Palmer. He's the starting center for Booker T. Last Tuesday night, after they played their first round game, he was roughly 2 to 3 minutes from home and ran into a telephone pole. Had a car wreck. Not the regular type of car wreck, a real car wreck. Whereas this young man, they had to induce him, sedate him from the massive swelling on his brain. His name is Ronald Palmer. The doctors had gave him 48 hours as the over and under if he was going to make it or not. Ronald Palmer at Booker T. Washington. So these kids rallied together and won their next game Friday, this past weekend, without their starting center.
Wow.
Could they do it again against Silsbee? I don't know. Who cares? Well, not to say who cares, but that's not the point. The point is they've won. It's a magical season already for Silsbee. For Booker T. Washington, I'm sorry. And speaking of Silsbee, shout out to them. They haven't gotten the ink that they normally would get, but at the same time, Silsbee hadn't been generating the type of wins that they normally have generated either. So let's be real about that.
No, I was laughing about the play. Somebody texted me about, you remember I was talking about Ladero Darryl Brown, Jimmy. He got this, and somebody, they remind me that he got the Patrick Beverly mentality. I love him because he played well. I never forget, he was the catalyst when Yates played against Morton Ranch. But with all that talent, he's on this particular team, Yates' team, you have to be unselfish. So when any person taking a coverage shot, because when you're playing on Yates' team, you gonna get a open shot. I'm gonna repeat that. On Yates' team, you're gonna get an open shot. So you should never have to take a force or covered shot. And I think that's why Greg took Darryl out. I'm not just saying he just took him out willy-nilly. He took a shot that he shouldn't have taken, especially on this team. Because these guys, they move the ball so well. I'm just proud of them, man. I'm proud to that's one of the teams that I traveled all the way up to Sam Houston. First time I ever been to Sam Houston and got off and went to an arena, because usually I pass by Sam Houston going real fast, is going up there to see Yates play and on a road to the state championship. So, hey, shout out to them. Jimmy, what are we going to do? What's going on tonight in this city? Some of the matchup. Have you ever a chance to update the website yet?
No, I haven't updated the website this morning. I'm going to update it as soon as we get off the air. I was working this morning on the spring icebreaker.
Oh, that's right.
As you guys know, that massive grassroots basketball tournament, which we do every year, it's the 19th year of the spring icebreaker. And we closed out registration. It's going to be, it's going to be.
Jimmy, enlighten us on this. And I hope people watching all over the world, people trying to emulate and imitate this event. I got information that, because the other day I saw you tweeted, 333 teams. Then I talked to you again, it's up to 370 something.
Yeah, 376.
376. So, and Jimmy, this was a year, and I think it was some people that said, and you don't have to say it. I heard it. I heard the little whispers. People, man, we're gonna go there. We're gonna do something in another city. Forget Jimmy, but they didn't say forget Jimmy. We'll go somewhere else. Let me tell you something, man. I got data. I've heard a little data that this will be one of the largest, in talk with the largest grassroots event, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's an African American is in control of, and in other words, is ran by and headed by an African American. Am I wrong? Am I mixed up? Because I know Boo Williams.
Boo Williams may be the only one, and that was one of his AAU events. Maybe I'm going to check with Boo. I check with Boo. Speak with him. This I need to check on him. I hadn't talked to him in about 2 months. But the spring icebreaker, a lot of people get lost in the clouds sometimes when you're flying through this basketball. These basketball vigorous skies, and people will paint narratives and make you try to forget what you're looking at with your own eyes, make you think you're seeing something else. The spring icebreakers, once again, 19 consecutive years, this event has been in existence. I invite any of you to go and try to find the list of all events that have had the same name for at least 10 years. That would include a Bob Gibbons, a Gasso, a Boo Williams, hell, AAU Nationals. Think of some more that had the same name for 10 years. Maybe the Kingwood Classic. I think they might have made the decade. Yeah, they did, because they started right around 1999. So Kingwood Classic would go up in that lump, right? And, well, the spring icebreaker for 19 consecutive years has never had least teams than they had the year before. Once again, we've never had less teams than we've had the year before.
In other words, it increased every year.
Well, 1 year we tied with the same amount. We might say we never had less.
Okay.
So for 1 year we tied. Think about this: 19 straight years, 100% African American endeavor, a project.
I call it consistency.
And despite all of the turmoil, all of the the chatter, and we found ways to keep this thing sexy, to keep out of town teams coming in, to keep an atmosphere and an event that's well ran, well secured. We've had events, icebreaker. We've had punctuating moments where kids have broken the backboards, but we had enough staff in place that had another fiberglass backboard up within 45 minutes.
You know, Jimmy, years ago, I didn't understand, and parents, y'all got to understand, it was some times that I didn't understand grassroots basketball because I wasn't in it. The only reason I got in it till I happened to have a son. And whatever he want to do, guess what? I got to get in it. And I never understood the importance. I remember we had one of the top teams in the country, the franchise All-Stars. We had John Henson, Ray Turner, Pee Wee, Jonathan Edwards, DJ Griggs, all these guys, Xavier Roberson, Wu. All of these guys on this team, right? And y'all got to understand, I didn't know. Coach Henderson ran the grassroots thing. All I did was sponsor the program. But I never forget this, Jimmy. He had an agreement with Tony Johnson.
Yeah.
Yo, check this out, right? Tony Johnson with the Mustangs in Dallas, gave an event. But Jimmy, it didn't dawn on me till now that I was wondering, we went up to Tony's, played a couple of games, and got back in the car and came home. Because what? He had also promised you he was going to be in the icebreaker. You got to realize, I didn't know you that well then. They told me, don't mess with him. Remember? People was telling me, man, he went to Houston Hoops. Y'all got so when my son was playing, I didn't know Jimmy that much. Okay, we didn't know each other that well. So I sit back and said, now I understand. I didn't know why Coach was doing it, but guess what Coach thought? He said he know how I felt. Coach Henderson know I'm gonna always support my people. This back then, this is in 2008, way back then. So he said, I'm going to go and support Tony Johnson's event, African-American event. But I'm going to get my butt back here to Houston to support Jimmy's event. And I'll never forget, that's when I first, the Houston Hoops, Jimmy, I was, y'all was trying to pull up a deal where we played the Houston Hoops. So guess how I got interjected in it, ladies and gentlemen. This gonna be in my book. So Marlon Lowe was coaching the Houston Hoops. This is funny. Jimmy's all coming back to me. So Coach Henderson said, no, Hatter, you go talk to him. Because he had previous relationships with these guys, right? He said, he put me up. See, I didn't know what he was doing, but now I know. So he put me up. I went to Hal Pastor. I went to Marlon Lowe. And he told me, look here, under no circumstances are we going to play the hoops unless Hal promised to put us on the main floor in his event. Jimmy, I'm up here posturing about something that I have no idea what. Y'all got to understand, I'm just a parent. I don't know what the hell these people talking about. I don't know let me tell you something. Jimmy Hicks, Terrell Henderson, Alan Branch taught me everything I knew about this business. And them three have been around. Hold up. And guess what? three different, distinctively different personalities, three distinctively guys that go in their own separate ways. I learned about what I know about this game through those guys. And Jim, I just had to share that story because I watched. So if we got teams that want to go support, if you do it, but dude, Doug just said something on your thing, Jimmy, that was key to me. And that's what it hit me, Doug, when you mentioned. Doug said, when you take your kids out of town that weekend, how you expect for me, Doug, Jimmy, how do you expect for me to talk about your kid on the show? I don't know what's going on up there. How do you expect for them people? How do you expect for your kid? Then you come back, man. They ain't writing up on my kid, John Uri. John Uri. They ain't writing up on my kid. But no, your kid's playing in Timbuktu and in South Carolina. Let them people write about it. So, I mean, I didn't mean to go there, y'all, but I'm just showing you it's a lot of parents that I didn't even know about this stuff. And these guys been doing this for this long. I mean, it's amazing, Jimmy, that this thing, I didn't know what the hell an icebreaker was. And didn't know why you named it icebreaker. Hey, parents, guess what? You're breaking the ice. It's the first game. You know, Jimmy, he always drank. He's a drinker. He loved liquor. So he said, this is how we break the ice. We break the ice. So it's the first event after the state championship. So, I mean, I'm just trying to relive some of the experiences. And let me tell you, every experience I've had in this thing haven't been grand. But parents, players, man, when you have an event like this in your city, a historic event, don't you let nobody talk you. Don't you let nobody talk you and being on the wrong side of history. Don't you let nobody listen to me, parents. And Jimmy don't pay me for this. I have nothing to do with no event. But I saw my son got a chance to be home. I saw him play every year. Bryce Griggs, LJ Cryer, they get a chance to be at home. I don't have to spend. All I got to do is get some gas to go way out on the other side of town, though, and fill it up going them days. But that's it. Sometimes, occasionally, I get a hotel on that side of town just to have. But it's not an infomercial for Jimmy. He didn't tell, y'all got to realize, he don't tell me to do stuff like this. But let me tell you something, man. I have to say it. If don't nobody else say it, I have to say it. And, hey, don't be on the wrong side of history. What you got, Jim?
I'm just looking. I'm looking at reading some of the comments, and you're right. Mm-hmm. A lot of people really don't grasp that, as far as the parents and a lot of the kids, because a lot of the parents make their decisions, and there's nothing wrong saying you don't play with nobody, but then just don't expect. Why would you expect? Put it like this: when they have the Gasso tournaments during the summers, and a lot of your teams are playing in other events, the Gasso don't write about what you did at them other events. So why the rules change or the expectations change on a narrow scope of the mental thinking when it comes to us? So you go into another event, I'm hosting an event, and then you're going to challenge the notion, well, you see, they ain't going to talk about our boy. Why the hell would you expect me to give you ink when you purposely made a decision to not support what I'm doing? So if you're not supporting what I'm doing, that don't mean I'm not going to support you. No. I'm petty, first team, but I ain't there. I ain't MVP.
Who?
I ain't MVP. I know someone that works.
Oh, okay. I
So,
don't.
but I'm not gonna not support you. That's anybody out there. But meanwhile, if there's somebody that's coming to the event and you're ranked number 10 and number 11 is there and he's doing well, then I can guarantee he's gonna be another number 10. Now, I didn't drop you because you did not come. I rewarded somebody who was there. That's how it goes.
Jimmy, I just saw a good one, Jimmy. I just saw a good one.
What's that?
Could you clear that one up for me? Stason came out of his cave. He said, I'm asking because I know there are teams in Dallas and other cities. Hold on, let me put it back on, Stacy. You deserve to be put back on the screen. Other cities outside of Houston that feels the icebreaker have been known to only talk about Houston players. Mr. Hicks, can you clear that up for me?
That's not true. That's not true.
I don't understand that one.
R.J. Hampton came to Houston for the spring icebreaker 3 summers ago.
Who did?
R.J. Hampton. He came and made a video. One of the games was against John Urie, I think, team. Made a mixtape from the icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
The Texas Titans came here 2 years in a row, last year and the year before, to the icebreaker. They got plenty of ink. Nike Pro Skills came down here and the Twins played with them for a couple of 2 summers ago. Those Twins and those other players that got plenty of ink. I'm just going off the top of the dome. Oh, how about this? The Team 3D Empire with Sean. They won the icebreaker 2 years in a row. They won it last year. Got plenty of ink. How do you think those big, tall kids got started? They got the sizzle from being at the icebreaker. People will paint the narratives to the blind ears. Remember that. Think about what I'm saying. Blind ears. If you allow them.
I'm just trying to see where they feel, but they only talk about the Houston players. I mean, I'm not sure about that one, Stacey. I'm not sure about it. He said the Houston players.
Texas hard work got.
You said what?
Texas hard work got ink. I got a text message from a guy down in South Texas, in the Valley, that was just thanking me just 2 weeks ago from one of his kids who played in the icebreaker, got ink from playing in the spring icebreaker.
He said, please explain what getting ink means, Jim.
Getting ink meaning that it comes in different facets to me, because I don't really do a lot of tweeting about individual players, which is nothing wrong with that, but I just personally haven't got, because I do that and I do it for one, I got to do it for all. So I tried to make it, you want to read about the kids, I can send it to those college coaches or to be in the VIP news. But ink would come in that fashion of, you got public ink and you have private ink. The private ink normally is the ink that goes to the college coaches. Those are the reports that you guys don't generally get access to. And I'm not the only one that have private reports that goes to those college coaches as an obligation, because I operate a scouting service, and I have an obligation because they pay an annual fee in exchange for me to provide intel to them, as long as others as well. So those reports are generally private. They're not, you don't get to see that. A lot of the parents were there. If they knew some of the stuff, there was no, and guess what? Some parents do get to see it, because you get a coach that's messy enough or petty enough, and there's been some college coaches that would let the parents see what so-and-so wrote about their kid. I've seen that happen before. But that's one of the variations of ink, by way of either social media, by way of either on the website, because everybody don't have websites. That's another thing you look at. Website takes a lot of work to keep it populated on a daily basis. More than, put it like this, if it was that easy, how many websites running in this state right now for basketball that you can go to? Max Preps, if they have a job, they do a good job because they do articles now. and it's self-driven, meaning that those coaches have to input the scores, and that goes into logarithms, which updates everything else. So it's not like Max Preps is updating everything. They're updating the front end of their interface and the back end here and there. But think about it. Back in the days, the Texas Hoops was the honeycomb hideout of message boards. Then once social media began to open up, and it was easier for people, or it was harder for people to hide behind the monikers and those usernames. You can tell you can narrow a person down real quick behind the username. You just let them, especially if they're actively messaging. But that's what I'm saying about the ink part, Howard, is by way of private reports, public reports, social media during the games. And then one of the things that we do at the Icebreaker, people don't realize, and Doug Jones knows this, after the Icebreaker, every single 15, 16, 17U game, we will have printouts of every double-digit score from every game that's played. That would be public info after the event. You hear that? You tell me another event you can go to where, like in the newspaper, you get a printout. You better access a printout of every game that's played for the high school level that and every double-digit score along with the final score. That's one of the things that you get. So it means now you get a.
And this go, hold up, Jimmy, because his thing was he probably understand that you do that, but I think he was just saying for some reason people think you just do it for Houston players, and I I'm not sure because I really don't pay attention to that stuff that much, but I know when we talk about the Icebreaker on that Monday after on the Top Shop in the 4 years I've been there, if you ball, you get the call. Let me repeat that. I don't know about the ink. I don't know about that Jimmy don't talk about. But if I see you balling at the Icebreaker, and I know it was directed at you, Jimmy, but I'm just trying to help the situation along. On that Monday and that Tuesday and that Wednesday, the week after the Icebreaker, if you a bad dude, I don't care if you came from Timbuktu, I'm going to talk about you. I'm probably the only one on this feed today that mentioned the move that the boy put on Yates High School, and this is a pro Yates High School feed today. Most people are from Third Ward High. But I looked and saw this kid do an elite play. I don't know the kid, never met him. I like Yates. I don't know nothing about Lamar. So if you ball, you get the call. Jimmy, that's Dion. So from now on, Stacy, on Monday, since if the team's from out of town, if you got a player that's good, and if I see him, I'm going to talk about it. I don't think nobody deliberately, just sit up there and say, I'm not going to talk about this dude right here. He ain't from Houston. I just find it hard to believe. Did you see this question that Jimmy, that Tay Wilson put up there? She ain't been on here in a long time, so you might need to. Could you read? It's kind of long.
and you say now people don't support you because they don't like you. They are leaving because they don't want to support you. It is what it is. I know you don't care, but it's the reality of the situation. The people that don't like or support you shouldn't expect your support. It's really too personal, which is why y'all should separate yourselves from the parents and get to the business.
You always do that.
I'm the guy that the parents feel like I'm the mean guy because I never talked to you guys. Now, if you want to come, think about it. Think about it. So that ain't the issue. One of the things that I've done, I've made a consistent effort to eliminate virtually every excuse that you can think about. To eliminate it. If person don't like you, they're not going to like you.
Yeah, ain't nothing you can do about it.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, you got others that don't like what you stand for or maybe don't like what you do. That's a different. Think about it. Some people don't like you, and you ain't gotta even open your mouth. I just don't like you.
Yeah, I know.
Some people don't like the way you talk.
Like the way you dress.
Some people don't like the way you walk. Some people don't like the way you don't like whatever the position or the title that you possess.
Marcus Sloan don't like my hair. And I don't like his stomach. That's why I call it PBS, Pot Belly Sloan.
And the thing is, it's just like in life. There's nobody that's going to come through this city and everybody's going to like. And when it comes to grassroots basketball.
Yeah.
It's just the thing with the people that normally, you think that people just stopped liking me, that just decided not to come to the Icebreaker this year? They just stopped liking me this year? They didn't like me.
Jimmy, I told you what they told me.
But understand, you didn't like me. But when it come down to time to vote for your players to get in the top 100 camp, I'm the only person on the panel that gave your kid a vote and got him in. But so just as you keep score, you remember that. Nobody on the panel voted for their kid to get in camp. Nobody. I say nobody. I did. And then
well, sometimes you done voted against somebody to get in camp.
No. But I'm just letting you know a situation where I didn't have to.
Okay.
Didn't have to.
Because there's some people you don't like too, Jimmy.
A lot of them I don't like, but that's my point. And I don't like some of them, but that's my point. I still didn't punish your kid.
Oh my God.
You see what I'm saying? Nobody's going to be. See, that's the thing. Remember a few years back, it was the rankings part at first. And I told you how 5 years ago. I say, let's watch. I'm going to eliminate the excuse. I made an amendment and let Doug Jones take over the rankings. I came back a couple of years ago only to do the 12th graders. That way now it gets a chance to, if correct some stuff, if I missed on the kid. That way now Doug can concentrate more on the 9th graders as that way it ain't too much of a load. Because at that point, they're not playing no more summer ball, all that stuff. So
Jimmy, this Ashley and Tay, man, could you please clarify to them? She ain't talking about them. Ain't nobody talking about your kids right now. He was just using a hypo. That's a hypothetical. Now go back, Jimmy. Yeah. I hope you ain't talking about this. I saw how she wrote it. This is how she looked at you. I hope you ain't talking about my kid. That's how she looked at you. But now, keep going. Keep going. I like this.
I mean, so, guys, if the masses were leaving from the spring icebreaker, once again, my numbers would drop.
Jimmy, you got 376.
Wait
a minute. Jimmy, what they said, men lie, women lie. But them numbers that don't lie. I wish you had gave it to me.
The numbers would drop. So that means understand, it's like saying there's some black folk that did not like President Obama.
Yes.
They could not stand his guts.
Hold up. Martin Luther King.
So that don't have to do the masses. Remember, I told you guys, I gave you a piece of the game years ago on the Chop Shop. I strive to stay in good field position.
How many 17 and under teams, Jimmy?
110.
Wow. Ugly toe. See, I get your question asked real fast for you.
Yeah, 110 17 U's, 73 16 U's, 55 15 U's, 51 14 U's, 35 13 U's, 20 12 U's.
Jimmy, guess what? So you ain't gonna just be playing, little Johnny. You gonna have some work to do.
It's gonna be pretty good. And
how many? And them 17s. How many of them spice? I mean, what's the top? How many? Because I like the way you talk to them coaches. I've heard you on the phone say, "Coach, look here now, how good your team is." And I if you want to get in this hot grease now, I'm gonna put you in this grease. I done heard you tell some coaches that. Hey, man, how good is your team? Do you still do that?
All the time. You get what you. That's what the icebreaker for. You get what you ask for, and because that's what happens. A lot of teams will put themselves in position by their request to possibly lose a player or two because you go out there thinking that you're ready for something that you may not be ready or your kids may not be ready for. And that's one of the things about the icebreaker. And once again, it takes place March the 20th through the 22nd. The games will start on about 5:30, 6 o'clock on Friday evening, and then it will go and all the way through the rest of the weekend. A lot of teams, a lot of action. I'm telling you, it's going to be really, really good. I'm going to try to do the best I can with this schedule. We've never had this many teams before, 376 teams, and we've shut the registration down. The only thing that I could take right now would be 9U or 10U. That's third grade or fourth grade. I would take some more of those teams. If any third grade or fourth grade teams want to come, send me an email and mention you heard it on the Chop Shop, and you will get half off. If you get 50% off. If you're
the Junebug team,
9U or 10U only. I don't have room. We don't have room for anything else. But that's the thing.
That's it. We're good. I just wanted to get that out the way. I had to get that off my mind. And I just had a comment up there. And I would, boy, Jeremy Cunningham said, I wish the basketball community in the state of Texas would band together so much that our kids would never leave the state. Jimmy, I'm going to let you answer that. Start our own league and make the coaches come to us.
Well, that was an attempt that was made a couple of years ago.
What was that attempt?
About 3 years ago, it was an attempt for a lot of the grassroots organizations to unite more of the African American operated programs that wasn't sneaker program sponsored, and to band together. They would have formed their own union. But I think right as it was done or being done, then one of the teams ended up getting a sneaker deal, and that kind of took that program out of the loop from the efforts, because how you going to galvanize it together when your teams had an obligation to possibly to be at sneaker sponsored events. But it's let me tell you something, man. It's competition, and it's just like running an election. We have election years. A lot of these teams, a lot of things you see, a lot of people are competing. It's like in these summer programs. Mm-hmm. They go and when they're soliciting for the services of your player, your kid, they're going to tell you things and share stuff about other programs. Some of that stuff, most of the stuff you hear, most of it will probably be not true. Most of it will probably not be true. It'll be some opinionated stuff that's turned into self-perpetuated thoughts, and they would share them with a person, and that's how it is with events. I'm just thinking with grassroots events, it has gotten larger. There are more teams, which means there's more people to go to various places, and if everybody want to go to different places, I mean that's cool. Okay. Cool people. Yeah. They just, like I said, the accountability is where the plank ends. People want to walk that plank, but not to the end. And that is, if wherever you decide to go, it's kind of like, think about this. Nike runs a camp called the Elite 100. It's every June in St. Louis, Missouri. Up until 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, this camp was open for all 9th and 10th graders primarily, with just a speck of 9th graders. No matter what sneaker line you played for, you had a chance to get in this camp. At that point, I had a lot of influence. So
you done lost your influence?
No, on that part, because now they have a rule that if you don't play with one of the Nike programs, you cannot play in this camp.
Oh, that's okay. I got you.
Every year, pretty much, I would end up help
outside of the Nike
with
realm.
somebody that did not play to get into that camp every other year from out of this state. And they changed the rules, and so now that means you make a conscious decision. If you're in the 9th, 10th grade, we mentioned let's say let's use Bryce Griggs. We use him all the time. We didn't say his name all day. They play tonight, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. So we use Bryce Griggs.
Right.
Bryce Griggs,
yeah, use my man.
Could not play in this event last year in this camp. I went to try to see if they circumvented the rules. Like, no, ain't no way. I don't care who he played for. What 17, 18 year, 19 and under, whatever he do. He playing over there on that side of the track. He can't get an invite to this camp. So that means the only way that you're going to get one is to play with one of the Nike sponsored or flavored teams. You see how this stuff, so that means you make a decision, you make your choice, and there's consequences. You got to live with the consequences. It's not going to be the end of the world. People make it like it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world if a team go to Dallas, great. You know how many teams from Dallas? You want me to give you a tally of how many Dallas teams are coming to the icebreaker?
No, don't tell it. Don't say it.
I just put it well over 2 dozen. Well over 2 dozen.
Jim, I got a question. What are these passes that Shante and Kenny Lofton talking about to the hospitality room after the party? I ain't never been to that damn room at the icebreaker. And then Ken Lofton said the same thing. He wanted. Hey, y'all ain't got no kids no more in this thing. Jimmy, wait a minute. Jimmy, wait a minute. Do the statute of limitations run? When you ain't got no kids no more, don't you shut them out? Or you let the parents, or you got some parents that's grandfathered in?
No, because technically their sons are still in high school.
No, but they ain't in grassroots basketball. These guys, hold up. These guys has graduated from boys basketball. If you go look at the locker room at Seton Hall and at Louisiana Tech, guess what it says? Men's basketball. So Jimmy, the after party. Okay. Yeah, y'all can come to the after party. Okay, all right. You know what, Jimmy? I'm working security this year. And you don't even have to pay me. I'm going to work security this year.
Okay.
I know some people. Come in there talking crazy. See, do I let you in? I know what they talking about. Jimmy, where you go buy all that liquor and put it in that one room. I think that's the party they talking about. Is that the party?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got them covered.
Okay.
We're gonna have, you definitely know. We're going to definitely have some. And that's one of the things, one of the amenities of the hospitality. Not a hospitality room per se, but the overall hospitality that's shown across the board to a lot of the teams, or the coaches that is, and the parents. And what we're going to do this year, Doug Jones and myself, we're going to make a more conscious effort to, we see these parents, but we got to piece it together like we don't really know who their sons are. So we're gonna make it more of a mixer, because everybody's there mixing anyway. They're mixing stuff in their cup. They're mixing conversations. But and we're at one of the host hotels, and we do it's free top shelf drinks. Ain't no bumpy face.
What's bumpy
face?
Ain't
no EJ Brandy. Ain't no Thunder. It's all top shelf drink. So put it like this: if you're a parent, you're already on the budget, right? You're already complaining, thinking about, but damn, I had to pay this per day, pay this to get in. So what we do is we offer a way for those who, even if they don't consume spirits, we still have some snacks down there every night. Maybe chicken one night, maybe pizza one night. And what we do have is, they put it like this: if you go to the bar or to the restaurant and buy you a drink, it's gonna cost you $10. So if the average person comes down, they're gonna drink 2 to 3 drinks. That's $30 I done saved you from going down the street. Now, also as a parent, you don't have to drive that far.
I got to think of something.
Staying in the hotel or across the street or next door at one of the hotels, and now that way, what it does is it provides an opportunity for people to see and get a chance to be in the room with me who don't or never met me before, they get a chance to meet and understand some of the things that make me tick, as well as other people as well.
Jimmy, you can tell I was drink. I ain't know what the hell bumpy face mean. And Jonathan Griffin just said Seagram's gin. I wouldn't have never, Jimmy, I wouldn't have never got, I thought that was some, you always bringing up some old crazy stuff. I thought that was one of your saying. But Jimmy, you know what? Since I got to do something for the non-drink, from the chop shop, I got to figure out what I'm going to do something for the non-drinking parents. I'm going to get some virgin pina coladas and or some virgin strawberry daiquiris or something. I got to do something for my parents that don't drink like me, man. Because we just see all you little liquor heads, y'all gonna go in there and be drinking y'all drink, and we're gonna be sitting up there looking crazy. So I got a chop shop. I'm gonna think of something, y'all. For all the parents that don't drink, I'm gonna work on something. I'm gonna work on something for y'all. Okay. Yeah.
That's right. And Tay Wilson, she said she experienced it at Top 100 camp in Virginia. Hicks made folks drink. I forgot, that's right, she was there. One of the things people know, just last week. Uh-huh. We went to the game out at the Merrill Center, right? Uh-huh. And was it the Merrill Center or one of those high schools? They played at Katie Taylor or something like that, right? Afterwards, a lot of the coaches came over to they have a restaurant in that area called the Orleans. It's kind of a spinoff of Boudreaux's. Two former GMs of Boudreaux's got together, built a restaurant, kind of took some of the ideas, and kind of feels like a Boudreaux, a Cajun restaurant, guys. And went there, fellowship. Guess what? They bought the ticket. No, put it all on one ticket. That's the thing that people know. A lot of the summer coaches and the high school coaches are like, no. If they coming out with me, they already know who's likely to grab the ticket. I don't mean I'm gonna pay for it all. You don't grab that
when I be out there.
You saw me grab a whole lot of tickets.
I'm talking about when I'm eating, you ain't grab. You tell me where your credit card at. I guess I ain't no damn college coach. Well, them college coaches don't need no help, Jimmy.
The parents too. I've taken a lot of summer coaches. A lot of summer coaches. I'm talking about on a regular. There's nobody out there in the business that have picked up more tabs than me in this industry. And the reason I do it is because it's part of me reciprocating. And say, for example, if you guys are out there and I meet a college coach because of their recruiting your son, when we go out, I'm getting the tab. They're subscribing to me, and it should be like with everybody, but it ain't. And parents don't even realize that a lot of the services and a lot of the colleges and the guys that hang around, they want to call you guys as parents all the time and get intel from you. And then they going to get a check from whatever college coming in. And you don't get nothing out of the deal? To hell with that. That's what I'm trying to explain. See, the perfect world, a lot of people that will eat and don't want nobody else to eat. But you're eating indirectly off of the talent of another.
Jimmy, we got to get some of them wine. Hey, Jeremy said we got to get some of them wings, not wings. Hey, man, dude, Jimmy, I pulled up a video, man. I was going through my video. Man, you sitting there, we at the other radio station, and Jimmy, you sitting up there going through going through the menu of Phil and Darius, man. You talking about peach cobbler in the heated pan, and they give you a little ice cream on the side. Boy, man. I got that. I'm gonna upload that video. I'm gonna play it tomorrow. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Hey, my favorite coach is on the line. Hold up. My favorite coach that popped up. He been working. He ain't had time to be playing around with us. What up, Coach? Coach Stephen Woods is in the building.
Well, I tell you one thing. Speaking of Stephen Woods, of course, there are playoff games tonight.
Okay.
Around the area. Hightower is taking on Crosby. That's a part of a doubleheader at 7:30 Delmar Fieldhouse. First game is Dickinson and Tascasita. Mm-hmm. To let you guys understand what you can expect from from the first game, from both of these games. And Atascocita is a pretty good team, guys. Atascocita, what happened? Dickinson is the favorite because they have two Division I senior signed guards in the backcourt. They're in the public school. There's no other school that I don't think in the state of Texas that has two seniors who are guards signed, who are guards, I said, that are in the backcourt in public school in Texas. You guys can help me out if there's a list. If it is, it's a very short list. I said seniors who are signed, not one committed and one signed, who are signed that are guards. Dickinson has Tremont Mark. They have Marcus Williams. Those guys are both high powered. Both of them have the ability to take over a game at any point in time. And the other one would sit there and get his rest while the other one is taking it, kind of like watching a Harden and a Westbrook. Because Tremont Marks likes to drive a lot more. He's going to go and use a mid-range game a lot more than Marcus. Marcus is going to heat it up. It's going to be like he's the Russell Westbrook. Well, Westbrook like to drive, so Tremont, I guess, will be the Russell Westbrook.
That's all right. Keep
And
going.
Marcus is a better perimeter shooter.
Hey, Westbrook and Harden so dynamic, it just confuses you. But keep on going. Keep on going.
And once again, they play Atascocita. It's a Atascocita team has won over 30 games, as I mentioned a while ago.
Tell me what's so good about Atascocita. They just keep winning. Tell me some good things about them.
What their system, and they have a system. A lot of high schools have their program. That means from top to bottom is generally you see. Remember, Atascocita, they're going to be right in the hunt every doggone year. Remember, they used to be part of Region 2. And this team, they made it to state a couple years ago, back to Carson Edwards. Many people remember, it's a lot of talent in that part of the greater Houston. You have Atascocita, you have Summer Creek. And between those two schools, think about it, both of those two schools are in the quarterfinals. It's a lot of talent out over there. A lot. And sometimes a lot of talent it gets because they have compatible players. Atascocita, a lot of youngsters they play. They have what's my kid name that's going to Texas State? Dylan Dawson. He's their main guy, but he doesn't score a whole lot. He just makes a lot of plays for them. They have I mean, like I said, they beat you with possessions.
Okay.
Dickinson, like I said, is a more athletic, more talented team on the top end of showcasing for his recruitability. But don't get it twisted. This Atascocita team could very well beat these guys, and it would not be such a grand upset. Any team has won 32 games, lost only 5, and they're going up against another team that's compatible in the loss column. It's not that big of an upset. Just that we don't feel away because the Atascocita is not that sexy for us. They don't have any high major players on the roster.
Okay.
Now, secondly, you have the second game, Hightower versus Crosby. I'm gonna tell you something. I said it yesterday, and as talking last night with some guys, people are going to come out tonight just to see how PJ Haggerty can measure himself up against the young man who's already been anointed. We've already anointed Bryce Griggs as the #1 player sophomore in the area. That's not enough because right now, Bryce, once you get national accolade, he's ranked in number 35 in the country by Rivals, right? Rivals.com, right?
Yeah, I think it's 31 though, but that's all right.
Is it 31?
Yeah.
You can confirm that for me as I'm talking. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Rivals, I'd share that news with you guys after the plane ticket is confirmed.
Gotcha.
And I got some news about Rivals for you guys because you know how I do with the icebreaker. But anyway, Bryce Griggs, P.J. Haggerty. And the thing about this is Crosby is not expected to beat High Top as a team. So I'm trying to put this, I'm going to put this where it
32,
goes.
Jimmy.
32.
32 with a lightning bolt to the left.
Well, lightning bolt mean he came up from where he was from.
And then an arrow pointing up. You got a lightning bolt and an arrow.
Oh, okay, the arrow mean he came up. I don't know what the lightning bolt mean, but
Yeah.
the arrow mean he came up. But here's what tonight I want to put in perspective. Both kids are going to play significant minutes, 30 of the 32 minutes, both. Try to focus on what is being done during the meat of the game, meaning that a lot of times we can get tricked as look at the final result, and let's say like last night, Yates played Lamar, and that game was a 30-point spread in the second quarter. Hal, the young man Jordan Ivory Curry, who, man, you know what? One thing about him I liked about him is that he reached out to me. I can say it now because he's got his college on the DM or whatever. He reached out to me a month and a half or so ago and asked me a question about recruiting. And I've mentioned to him, and I can give him permission, and I hope guys are listening right now. I mentioned to him, I asked him the question, who's responsible for or influencing you with your decision? He says his high school coach, and he mentioned his summer coach, his grassroots coach, Bobby Benjamin. I say, well, those both are great guys.
Right.
You just need to keep both of those guys informed. And you got to play and ball out, and everything will work out. Because at that point, he hadn't obtained the academic qualification status that he has now. So one thing I said, I give props to Jordan Ivory Curry for having the courage to reach out and seek a professional opinion, a consultation, which doesn't require any fee, about his future. And one of the things I did, I let Bobby Benjamin know. I let the head coach know. Hey, yo, the young fella reached out. Y'all doing a good job. Y'all take it on in. If you need anything, then y'all ask me. And that was the thing about him. I want to give props to Jordan Ivory Curry. But my point was, he had 19 points last night against Yates, and aside from the first few moments, the rest of his points, he came out, and even though they were down by 30, he proved he's good enough and showed the Yates fans some flashes, even during the course of defeat. The team was totally defeated. Yeah. And you could tell he was hurting inside because this kid was not only was he mentally tired, he was physically winded. You can't practice for this type of pressure. And he was mentally tired, physically, and his body was aching. You could tell. He was cramping up at some point, lightly, feeling like it, just tightening up in different places. You can tell. So my thing is, shout out to him. Yes. On a great season.
Great young man.
And watch this game tonight. Let's watch and see who does the most during the grits of the game. Not when if the score ever gets to double-digit territory or 20-point territory, which I don't expect High Tower to beat them by 20. But if it does, or hell, if Crosby get out there by 20, then let's not, just back in, pay attention to what is going on, who's guarding who, and when. What the person is doing when he's being guarded by the other one, and when. All of that that stuff matters into the meat. Watch some of the buckets that a person makes. The layups going to be layups. Jump shots often can transfer over to the next level. I'm expecting one power. No, in football you have a power 5. In basketball there's 7. You have what they call the Big 7 conferences, and which includes the Big East and the ACC. Kevin Sampson is going to be in the building because I know he's going to be there. I'm just going on the ledge because Tremont Mark is playing tonight, and Tremont Mark and Dixon is fun to watch, and that's Delmar Stadium, not that far of a drive. Why would he not be there? They're in town. U of H is. So I'm expecting for Kevin Sampson to be there. So that means why would he not stay and watch 2 young players whom U of H has been recruiting and offered. I know offered Bryce Griggs, right? So that means this is an audition. See, a lot of people don't want to look at it like that. Audition for you, your spectator eye, but for the most part, this is an audition that head coach is probably not going to forget for a long time based on what these 2 individuals can do and what they can't do in this type of atmosphere. That's what college coach. They're not studying about who can outscore the most points. I guarantee you Kevin Sampson ain't worrying about that. You think I'm joking? Look at U of H's roster right now. Go to the stats column and look at their statistics, and you will see the leading player, the leading scorer on University of Houston's team, Howard. You know what he averages?
12 points.
The leading scorer.
12 points.
So what you scoring in high school don't matter what.
I promise you.
Don't matter what's happening over there. That's what people don't get.
But it's good to score in high school now.
No. No, it don't matter for him in that audition. Yeah. But for some people's audition, that's going to matter because they're going to look at it and say, it's like when Zion played LeBron the other day. There are some people that called me, man, Zion outscored Bron. Yeah, he did.
They didn't call me.
He did, but that's what you really gonna ride on that? You forgot Bron had a triple-double? A 30-point triple-double. So watch in the fabric of the game and see how this thing unfolds. There's going to be a lot of underclassmen on the court for both teams. A lot of underclassmen. Crosby had a kid about 6'4", Sean Elkington. He has a chance to be one of the top sophomores in the area coming up. We got some good ones coming up. I just don't like anointing them too soon because I see what can happen in recent years. People have been gone bonkers once you go and they get too much ink. Everybody don't know how to handle that ink. Everybody can't handle the ink. And we go to the Boomer Room and I see some couple of questions on there.
Okay.
And Stacey has one say, who does the Chop Shop feel is qualified to provide players, families, and summer coaches advice about this ruthless recruiting grassroots world? Players, families, and summer coaches. Probably the most qualified. I mean, there's a lot of people qualified to do it, a lot out there. But you would have to know and understand the fabric of the community that person is currently dwelling in and what's surrounding them to really understand, to be able to give it. That would be the most qualified person, meaning that it would be hard for me to give. I only can give some generic or limited advice to a young man who's in New Orleans in the ninth ward and his situation and his problem, because I don't understand what Big Pookie and his brother owe Big Pookie some money. And Big Pookie want to kill the brother and everything around. I don't understand that. So if somebody that knows the family.
Then I don't think he expect for you to understand that. What he expect will do it just in your sphere of influence or in this city. or in this city, because I know he can't expect for you. It's 50 states out there, so he can't. It's different cultures in 50 states. So it's a Jimmy. That's a broad. I mean,
Oh,
that's
you talking about something like that, Alan?
yeah.
Then I would first go and seek out somebody who failed or who went through it as a parent, right? That had a player that may not, and could that mean that parent might can
That
provide
parent
you
might
with
not.
some of
That
the errors that they may have done. They may be willing to say, well, you know what? I see where it messed up at. If I do this over again, I would do it like this, or this. You go and you find a former summer coach who who went through the rigors maybe and that was on different sides and had different levels. They say a guy that doesn't have a dog in the fight anymore.
Yeah, he is talking about Houston, Jimmy. He just clarified it. He is talking about Houston. Uh, man, he is talking about Houston. I mean, I got to think about that one because, you know, first of all, you got to be able to trust, because some of these parents, like you said, Jimmy, you said a parent that made mistakes in his business, but there was
No, back when they had a kid, and I say not made mistakes,
yeah,
but that's wrong.
but they
That's the
might
wrong
still
choice
not
of
have
word.
learned. They might still not have learned. You know what I'm saying?
But you would know when you talk. That's why I said you're going to talk to more than two people.
Okay.
Find one that did and one that didn't. That way now you can compare the logics. For example, you go and you find a Lyndon Rose who had a son, or not. Or I just use the example. I just picked him off the top of my head. Or what's the coach name that played with Lyndon Rose? The coach at Bryan High School. What's the coach name had the son?
J. Mike Reese.
J. Michael Reese.
Yeah.
You'll find John Reese. He was a summer coach. He was a high school coach. He was a parent and he ended up being a college coach. So those guys that don't have a dog in the fight anymore, you probably would get the best candid information from a person that doesn't have anything to gain or lose from the current state of grassroots basketball.
Okay, I got you.
You see what I'm getting at? You go find that person. Like say, for example, if a Frank Rutherford is not in it no more, and you're thinking about international kid, he'll tell you some of the secrets now. He'll tell you how he messed up now. Maybe not. But you still can pick his brain, seek to probably pick his brain and find out, those what I would think you would get some of the better. But it's a combination though, not a
It's just no one person. I think you need to. I even looked at. I said earlier, Stacey. I don't know if you was on the show. I mean, he said the reason he asked is because he saw some tweets yesterday from some media sources that tweeted that all media sources are not qualified to give advice.
That's true.
And that's
but,
true.
I mean, what kind of advice? That's what I'm saying. But what the media? That's the whole thing. The layers, and that's another thing we can talk about that on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is to go back and explain and break down the understand so that you guys can really understand what each layer is.
Yeah,
everybody calls themselves media.
Yeah, and Jimmy, media, and I'm glad. I promise you. Let me leave a note. We got to talk about that tomorrow because I asked you something about that the other night about scouting service versus recruiting service and how these people, because do we have a person in Houston? And I hate to get on this today, but I'll save all my questions to tomorrow because I just want to know: do we have a person in Houston that just acts as media, that really just reports what he see? He's not becoming to a college coach because I saw a lot of people talking about certain people are becoming the college coaches. Some people are becoming. Do we have a platform, a media source here in Houston that just reports what he see in a non-biased opinion? Because I'm not over here. I'm not getting paid from coaches over here. I'm not getting paid from a parent. I'm just, when I go to a game, I'm reporting of the top players or the least top players. I mean, and Jimmy, this animal might not exist. Okay, and I understand this animal might not exist. So I'm just trying to, is there a source in Houston that just reports what they see and not with an agenda? I'm going to report on these kids because I'm friends with this program. I'm going to report on these kids. Do we have somebody just reports media that reports about the whole landscape of summer basketball?
Why would you expect that? Why would you expect that?
No.
Well,
I didn't say I expected. I just asked, do we have a source? I said, do we have a source? I didn't say.
Who's going to pay that for that?
Okay. Gotcha.
The college coaches pay the scouting services.
So Jimmy, listen. I'm not.
I know.
All I'm telling you is that. So that kind of stuff. So everybody who reports basketball in Houston has an agenda behind it. They have to get paid by a source.
Everybody.
Okay.
So that's how the game goes.
Okay.
That's why listen, you're going to decide, you have to make a conscious decision to what you're going to be on the right side of politics. That's what people don't want to do in this stuff. You try to act like politics don't exist when they do. And then you try to claim and persuade the next person to believe, man, they just hating on you. No, it's politics.
So when you parents, from what Jimmy telling me, when you read something out there, it's skewed. It's because when you read some, or you read a tweet, or you read something, it's got an angle to it. That's what you're saying?
That don't mean it has one. That mean it can. It can.
But
don't mean it does. Don't mean it does. I mean, everything everybody says isn't with an angle. Some things are genuine.
But if they're not getting paid for it, why would they write it? Because you just said if they're not getting paid for it, they shouldn't write it.
Remember, there are some things when you're getting paid, there are some things that you need to do. And when your heart is in it, there are some things that you want to do. So some of the times, some of the things, if your heart is flowing towards a certain angle, then you're going to do some things that you want to do, even though you're not even getting paid to do it. So that's the difference in the two. And so that's why I say sometimes it doesn't mean that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean it. That is going to be all the way tainted one side or the other. Okay. No.
I mean, I'm just,
but at the same time,
see, I've been trying to figure it out because I was a parent, Jimmy. See, I'm coming from, and I'm watching. See, I didn't care about this because social media wasn't that prevalent. Back then, guys wasn't selling tweets, Jimmy, for my son. They wasn't selling, I'm going to talk about your son if you pay me a certain amount of money. I didn't see. I put it like this. I didn't see it. So you saying, just like the newspaper. So okay. You said, what if this person who writes this stuff have sponsors on his website or in his thing, that sponsors that subsidize his income, just like the newspaper. Newspaper don't cost that much money, Jimmy. But the ads, the people that runs the ad, and I'm just throwing this out there. Is it, and it might not be for you because you got a service that you run. I'm just saying, I want parents to know that a lot of this stuff that the information that you're getting, you got to understand it's just not gospel. It's not the whole truth. In law, in a courtroom, have y'all ever noticed when they tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Because some people don't tell the whole truth. They just tell their truth. So I'm just saying, and I know it's, look at here, I'm not, y'all call me media. I'm just trying to say, is it we don't have nobody doing that. And I'm just trying to say, and Jimmy said, the reason nobody would do that, because would nobody get paid to do it? Who would pay? How would that person, his time, his gasoline, going covering all these games, how can this person be subsidized? And I'm just throwing this out there to somebody. It's just weird to me that parents, so don't get mad at everybody when they don't write about your kid and writing about somebody else's. Maybe they got an angle here. It's not that they don't like your kid, but it's an angle here that I have to talk about this kid because it's a coach or whatever, and I'm just trying to figure this thing out. That's all, Jim. I ain't trying. Listen to me, y'all. I'm just trying to find out how can we get, I'm watching the newspaper throw their endorsements toward this presidential candidate. The police department endorsed this candidate. Everybody got an angle, Jimmy, from what you're saying. So understand that and don't take it so personal. I think that's what I'm saying to the parents, Jimmy, because some of these people take it personal when you say something about their baby. This person got mad at you the other day. And you, by something you always say. But I actually got mad because you said somebody put out a can of whoopers. And you've been saying that ever since I've been on this show.
And that's going to be the first line I write when I write about the Yates recap from last night.
Yes,
but I'm going to use that again today.
See, so understand, parents, Jimmy writing from his angle. That's how he write. Ain't nothing against your baby. Think about what I did the other day with my sensitive self. I sit there and let Marcus Sloan would cry me, and Jimmy, no, I don't tweet. It ain't nothing about the chop shop. I'm not tweeting it. And I got into Sloan, tagged my name because I don't like my name tagged. So Jimmy, I said something back. But boy, it's a voice inside of me said, hold on, player. Don't you be like them. I deleted it immediately. So I'm just trying to figure out, Jimmy, and we got to be responsible. And Jimmy, I didn't mean no malice, but I thought I'm talking about somebody's son. I'm not going to let Marcus Sloan get me to talking about another person's son on this thing. And I know how it felt to me when I sit in a stands, ladies and gentlemen, and people got Jimmy's magazine and watching my son play, and 4 older gentlemen who ain't been 100 years out of school talking about, I just want to see this. He don't look like much to me. And he got him ranked this high. And his dad sitting just 3 feet from these guys. So yes, I know it hurts your parents. That's why I try to be very sensitive when I'm talking about these high school games. Yes, I got certain guys that I like because I know them. Jimmy, I love what you said the other day. You said you knew Sac Creek was a better team, but you said, I met the girl for Toscasita and I liked her. I saw her in the restaurant. I fell in love. So I have some emotional attachments to some of the kids in this city. I'm human, but I don't down your kid. Never. And I saw myself. So that's why I asked the question, and Stacy so eloquently, I was really feeding off of him because I was wondering whose responsibility is it to promote our top kids in this city if they don't have an agenda? If this kid not close to them, if this kid, whose responsibility to promote them? That's why I asked about the unbiased guy. Because if they don't know, if these parents or these kids don't hang out and don't go have a drink or don't go to Papa Do's with some of you guys, maybe you guys don't feel as close to some of these parents or some of these kids. Like I'm close to some of these. I don't know. I try to know as many as I can. That's why I take out my time. Jimmy, what's your event? The middle school event? Don't enhance my life. It don't affect my bottom line, but I showed up. What's that? Ruck on the Wood. It don't enhance. I have nothing to do with. But guess what? If we're gonna be on this show talking about these kids, I know a kid now named Jacoby Osborne from Lake Olympia because why? Jimmy, his coach came up and told me, man, we didn't talk about him. Thank you, coach. And I went to your event and saw him perform. So, but I got a non-biased opinion. You're right, Jimmy, and I ain't getting paid for it. I repeat, no, but I don't want, it's some men in this community gave to me and my son. Robert Hatter, long as I got breath, I'm going to give back to the parents in this community. And it might not show up. I'm not going to brag. I'm not going to talk about it and tell you what I've done. These parents know what I've done. So that's why I asked that, Jimmy. It was coming from me. Nobody asked me. Because I know I'm sitting here. Listen to me. If I see a kid that can hoop. First time I ever saw Tyler Smith, Jimmy, I didn't know nothing about him. No, we got a minute left. But I talked about this kid. I didn't know the kid. I didn't know his mom. I didn't know. I just saw something. So that's all, y'all. It's a great thing. I mean, Jimmy, I didn't mean to hijack what you were talking about. So let's finish talking because, hey, it's important. Let's finish talking about the rest of the games tonight.
And of course, talking about high school basketball will be taking place, resuming tonight. Playoffs, quarterfinals are in Greater Houston. We mentioned the Delmar Fieldhouse, the doubleheader. How about Summer Creek will be playing against Beaumont United? That's going to be a really tasty game. I think Doug Jones will be over covering that one. And once again, Summer Creek versus Beaumont United. Both of these teams have beaten each other this season once. This is the third matchup between those two teams. And they know each other very well. And the thing about it, the two coaches are very good friends. David Green and Ken Coleman.
Wow. They coach with each other.
He used to be an assistant coach. David Green when he's at Port Arthur.
Yes.
So this is like it's one of those things where you know them, the families eat each other's house, but these players are from two different cities. So they don't eat at each other's house, but they know each other from grassroots. This is going to be one heck of a showdown. I think this game will go down to the final possession. Other games around the area tonight. Travis is taking on Martin Ranch at 7 p.m. over at Wheeler Fieldhouse.
Talk about that game.
LJ Cryer and Justin Hill. We don't expect Justin Hill to outscore LJ Cryer, just like an example I used earlier with Bryce Griggs and PJ Haggerty. However, Justin Hill, who has a Division I offer on the table, has a chance to test his mettle against a young man who's going to Baylor and will be playing in the Big 12. So that doesn't mean whatever he does, it can accumulate good game film against opposite LJ Cryer will be meaningful for Justin Hill. That game film, a quarter here, a quarter there, half a quarter here, half a quarter there. This is the bigger picture. Don't get twisted. And Travis is good enough to beat Martin Ranch. But I don't expect them to. But they're good enough to do so. This team is gritty. They're going to get down. And when we come down to it, once again, this is two teams, where both know who their go-to guy is when the going gets tough. Martin Ranch knows who to get a ball to. Travis knows who to get a ball to. And guess what? If Travis is fortunate enough to get the right set of refs, and they can find a way to get LJ Cryer in foul trouble early, Who knows what can happen? How about another game that is going to be really intriguing?
So you ain't mentioned Big Eddie not once.
What?
Got to mention him once. He's a
division. Big Eddie has played magnificent in his last outing. His last 2 outings.
Okay.
They're doing well.
Yeah.
And the last one was against Sam Houston, when he had the monster game, 25 points, 16 rebounds, and the W, and he imposed his will. And the thing about that, I honestly believe, you say pay attention, because we gave Eddie Lampkin, not just saying we the fault, but I know we provided on the Chop Shop a lot of incentive, a lot of motivation for him to go and take on the challenge and what he did against John Shanu. So that's a job well done for Big Eddie Lampkin. Now, if you just did a 25 and 16, right? What you gonna do in this game right here?
I got you. Okay.
So I don't expect you to get 25 and 16, but at least don't go 25 and 16 and fall down to 8 and 8. Keep it going, big fella. That's what's expected of you right now. You're a front cover guy. That's how I just showed you guys.
Yeah.
So you're on the front cover, and you don't want the accolades that or the expectations that come with that. We know you're not 100% healthy. Yes, we know that. But at the same time, the tallest man on Travis' team ain't nowhere near as tall as this kid John Shanu, or long as John Shanu was.
I got 2 words.
Go in their chest.
Barbecue chicken. That's what Eddie gonna say. That's barbecue chicken down there.
So that's what's going to be expected. Meanwhile, other thing tonight, how about this? One of these 2 teams will be in the regional tournament.
Okay.
And they play tonight. Katy Tompkins and Bel Air. 2 teams that got little ink all year. Bel Air and Katy Tompkins. And I know the All Eyes media guys are on the feed right now watching. We know who they're rooting with. Once again, you mentioned a while ago, and that's the thing about layers. People that are attached to certain programs or things. Extra Eyes Media, the Houston Raptors, one of the coaches at Bel Air. So who do you think he's not going to root for indirectly? If you don't see it inside of him, they're going to be rooting for their brother.
Say that again, Jimmy. I missed that.
The Houston Raptors encompasses Extra Eyes Media.
Okay.
Right? That was a spinoff, like a subsidiary.
Okay.
It started with the Houston Raptors.
Okay.
If it wasn't no Houston Raptors, then that would be, Extra Eyes Media was morphed after that. Well, also the Houston Raptors, one of the coaches is coaches at Bel Air. Another one of the coaches, he's coaches at the middle school that feeds into Bel Air.
Okay. So they got ties to Bel Air.
So don't you think, so that mentioned earlier about ties, everybody, that's what I'm saying, everybody try to act like they don't have no ties.
No.
You have ties.
No.
You don't even want to call them ties, but you got ties.
Okay, I got
you. That means
so you saying, hold on. So you saying they're gonna have some? They're gonna be biased. They're gonna have some bias.
I wouldn't. Well, for the positive sake of the word.
It be Jimmy. Just because I'm gonna have bias because of my feelings
we know you're gonna have bias. Ain't no talk about that. You don't even count. We know you gonna. They might make a mixtape off of you alone tonight. They might have a mixtape for us to show them.
But I love all the kids, but man, it's just a couple of them, man. Hey, Jimmy, what you said? It's your heart or your head? It's my heart and my head.
And Bobby Benjamin says that's not true, Jimmy, but laughs out the vote. Bobby, you can't tell me that you do have a soft spot in your heart for not necessarily Bel Air, but for your assistant coach.
Jimmy, you got a soft spot in your heart for Atascocita. Summer Creek.
No. The boys or the girls?
The boys.
The boys?
Wait a minute. Where does the little Scales kid play team on? Wait, what's team he on? What team he on? You got a soft spot in your heart for that man.
For him.
For the kid, duh.
But understand. Look where I'm going tonight. I ain't gonna see Summer Creek play. Look where I went last week. I didn't go see Summer Creek play last week.
I don't know where you're going tonight. You might be somewhere. I don't know where you're going. Oh, hold up. This is where you going tonight.
Yeah. And and actually, I didn't know I was going there. I asked Doug Jones. I gave him the option this week. I said, Doug, I felt bad. I had to reassign him last week so that I can make my assignment and go watch two teams I had not seen, but once all season. So I said, Doug, just yesterday I texted him. I said, Doug, where do you want to go be at tomorrow? Because it didn't matter to me. I was going to go to the other game. If he'd have said if he wanted to go to Delmar, he'd say, well, I'm going to go to Summer Creek and Beaumont United because I felt Delmar is closer to your house and it's closer drive for you.
Jim.
I say, bingo, no problem.
I'm glad Doug, every time Doug walk in the door, it's janking it. I'm glad they stay out there to Beaumont, Glove. Thank you, Doug. I love you. I love you, Doug, but stay out there.
The game is not in Beaumont. The game is actually at LaPorte High School.
Same thing. Yeah. That's too far.
And that's so. Once again, about that Bel Air and Tompkins game, that's tonight, 7 p.m. out in Katy at the Merrill Center. And other games tonight, Huntsville is taking on Manor, 7 p.m. That game has been moved to Bryan High School. It's been moved. It was part of a doubleheader earlier. Now they're spun off on their own. Shadow Creek and Madison. I almost forgot about that.
Yes,
Coach Mara was on the feed earlier. Shout out to Coach Mara, guys. He's done a fantastic job based on the hand he's dealt at Madison High School. This is a team that they just fought all year, gritty. They have enough athletes, but this kid, Brian Miles, has surged along and taken a lot of pressure off Tim Moore Jr. That's the thing, the key for this Madison team. And Shadow Creek don't have much that they can do to handle if Tim Moore and Brian Miles is getting the ball and getting off.
Jimmy,
it's a real intriguing game.
I'm finna go against you right now. Hey, this the only time. Y'all got to understand. I love Shadow Creek until they play against you know who. So I'm with the Creek. I'm with the Creek tonight. Yeah. Hey, Clarence Harris, Sadea, I'm with the Creek tonight. Will Young, what's my boy name, number 3? What's my man, Ramon? Hold up. In the rebounder, boy, I know he gonna kill me. I always forget his name. Yes, on that side, I'm with the Creek. I'm with the Creek boys tonight.
Before we land the plane, answer your question, Michael Jordan, who's a referee, asked me to explain my comment about the right set of reps. The right set of reps, that slang that I often distribute is basically saying if the right set of reps, normally you get at this point in the quarterfinals, you will often see teams get reps from outside of the region that they play in. If they can't agree on the refs, then the coaches would go and just say, if they can't agree, then they can then automatically, they can all either agree for a certain chapter or they will automatically reach out to another chapter that's not residing from where they play in. So here's what I say about the right set of refs, meaning that a lot of these other chapters aren't used to, let's say in Region 4, which is down in the valley and all that stuff down there, they aren't used to the day in and day out talent level and the overall competitiveness of the high schools that are in Region 3. So a lot of things that a lot of Region 3 refs may not call a foul on, the Region 4 refs may be calling fouls every day, on every piece of knickknack. So that sometimes can be the right set of refs for that particular team who's already the underdog, so to speak. Underdog always can use all the help that they can get. So that's what I meant by that. And indeed, Bobby Benjamin, Doug Jones be everywhere. Yes, indeed. He's everywhere. I'm glad.
Bobby Benjamin said that's not his coach, that's his family. He's letting you know.
I said his brother. Earlier, I said his brother.
Yeah. You did say brother. Yeah. You're right.
I say one of them is a coach at one of the middle schools, and the other one is a coach at Bel Air. One is his coach.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. So that means you're gonna have a soft spot for your brother.
Guess why I'm cheering for Bel Air? Bruce Glover. That's my man.
And understand, guys, understand this. If a lot of people, if you ask the questions without attacking the person. And if you really want an honest answer, then a lot of people, I think more people would lean towards being more honest with their replies. But it seems like it's a trap. Then a guy's going to get defensive, and you're not going to get the truth. The fact of the matter is, what we said earlier, most people in this have soft spots somewhere. There's no hard heart of stone. You guys think for a moment that Yates High School as far as not say Yates High School, the Greg Wise component factor, because Greg Wise made the decision wherever he was at, he's always participated and supported all of my events.
Right.
So Greg Wise has put money in my pocket. I'm eating. Now, I make Greg Wise and Yates basketball program eat as well. I'm the Ahmad Rashad to that Michael Jordan. In the respect of him rising up, I'm the Howard Cosell to that Muhammad Ali. Absolutely. So you think for a minute, well, Jimmy, he favorite Yates. You damn skippy. Do you understand the relationship? Let me go in my bag. Yeah.
Hey, man, we overtime, man. But go in your bag.
I got one somewhere. Hal. I thought I had one somewhere. Yeah, I got one right here.
Okay.
The first issue of the magazine.
That's the first one?
The very first one.
Okay.
On the front cover is Hightower High School.
Hold on. Say that one more time.
That was Hightower High School. The first one, right? And in this article, in this magazine was an article that revolutionized, that sparked a decision that turned Greg Wise and made that helped spurn Nick Wise. Nick Wise had transferred to Hightower High School from Cinco Ranch. They blocked the transfer. And I got an article in here I'm trying to find for you guys. How about just look in the here you go, page 7. Page 7. Check this out. Look at the title of that article. Build it and they will come. You see this right here? Know what that is? That's a house that Greg Wise had built right about a half of a mile from Hightower High School and subdivision right behind it. This house was still being built, hadn't even been built yet. I wrote a big article about he built this house and they still declined Nick Wise. You know why? Because he moved for basketball purposes. We talked about this yesterday. So until then, Greg Wise learned how to circumvent some of the understandings of moving. So my point is, this first article, I got that exclusive interview to drive out to a house that he was having built from the ground up. That's what got him into real estate. It's back in 2002, the first issue of the magazine. And so my thing is, don't you guys understand that ever since then, my first Rucker on Wood, Howard, guess where it was at?
Yates High School.
No, he was at Hightower.
Oh, Hightower. Okay.
Coach at Hightower. Hightower High School was the first Rucker on Wood.
That's awesome.
No, yeah, it was Hightower or Jones. My mind going, But you guys understand, certain schools, yeah. I'm going to dig certain Bel Air High School. Think about it. All of the support that I've gotten from Bruce Glover.
Yes, sir.
And all of the support that I've gave towards not Bel Air. They didn't need my address, my resources.
You used to talk about Bel Air all the time. Yeah.
I'm talking about not the school. I'm talking about the program that I gave my resources.
The program, yeah.
They needed all of the ink. So
you know why I love Bel Air? That's the first school we used to practice at, AUT, when my son was young. He always allowed people to come in that gym. That's the first gym we ever practiced at.
Yeah, and Walt Yates said my first parent workshop was at Wall Tripp High School. Walt Yates was the head coach at Wall Tripp High School at that time.
Man, I don't remember Walter Yates being a head coach because he ain't never won nothing. But keep going.
Hey, it wasn't because he wasn't trying to cheat. He wasn't cheating though.
Wait a minute. Hold up. not the sanctimonious Walter Yates who got on here. I just don't like people to blow smoke up not that Walter Yates, Jimmy, who yesterday, I just don't like nobody to say one thing and not. Oh my goodness. Hold up. Let me drink some.
No, I love the fact that Walt had the gall to stand on his opinion and on yesterday. That's the thing a lot of people won't do. And that's what we provide this opportunity on the Chop Shop for you guys to do so. But for now, I'm going to tell you one thing. We want to thank you guys. If you hadn't done so, please share the show. You got to share the show. And you've been doing it to your timelines and your friends. There's so many good games now. It's time for me to go and get ready to head out.
I'm going.
And get over happy hour. I got to give me some vittles.
Man, that's a crying shame. That's all you think about is getting you a drink and getting you something to eat. Watch it. Talk about yup. Well, let's slide down. Let's crank this thing up, man. So I can.
And of course, guys, meanwhile, we thanks for you guys. Sorry, tomorrow we return with the phone lines, open the phone lines for you guys on tomorrow, Baby Friday. On Women Rock Wednesday.
Women Rock Wednesday.
And also, as promised, I will be giving out the tickets on tomorrow to the state championship girls. And these are females only will have a chance to win this. If you're living in San Antonio or if you're planning to go to San Antonio, then all we can do, I found a way we can do it either two ways. If you live in a different city, then wherever your hotel is, I can mail them directly to the hotel and put the care of your name. That's the solution. I thought about it because that means some people may be leaving out of town on Thursday or Friday. Whatever hotel you're staying in, they will get there to your hotel. Or if you live in Houston area and you win these tickets tomorrow, then I will put them in your hand before you leave. So that's on. Stay tuned. Spread the word. Yeah. The Girls State Championship. We have tickets, and on Women Rock Wednesday, some lucky females will win these ducks. So what we got?
Steven Woods, man. He sounds like Ray for real. So all y'all care about is getting a drink and something to eat. That's all Jimmy think about. I'm telling you, he's going to get him some. If you talk to him long enough on the phone, he trying to get him something to eat, update that website, or get him a drink. He going to do them three. And hey, hold up, and going on date night. Man, let's get out of here, man.
It's time to slide on down Dino's back and Yappa Dabba do this thing. You guys make sure you get out and support some high school basketball tonight if you can. But if not, we'll see you in 22 hours. Thanks. Chop shop.
Y'all crazy. Oh, what my introduction? I'm trying to find my intro. There it is.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't basing debate, but they keep it fact.